to me, Stinky Pinky. It's my mom's 1951 Ford pickup that she picked up from my cousin. They've actually owned it for quite a while, and while it does run and drive, she is a lot to handle. She's been sitting for a little bit, so we're gonna go through it and just bring it back up to life. We brought it from his place. He finally decided that he could part with it, and she's been wanting it for quite a few years, so she got it off of him. Got it home, but then we lost brakes. Carb needs to be gone through. So anyways, I drug it up to the house. We're gonna go through it, do the brakes, all that carb tuning we were just talking about, and just try to make it cruise down the road a little bit easier, a little bit more reliable. It's got a Ford 351 V8 under the hood, 3-speed automatic transmission, all that good stuff, and she's sweet. She turns heads, and clearly she's got quite the ratty pink look to her. Pretty awesome truck. So we're gonna pull it into the garage, get this stuff going. We got a car show coming up. It's been sitting for a few weeks just because of the whole brake situation. So we're gonna go through it for her, make sure it's idling, it's running, it's stopping, and that way she can run it down there, be nice and rowdy for everybody. Okay, first things first, brakes. They already put a master cylinder on it because that was initially the main problem. Master cylinder was leaking. Could only last about half a day before she was out of fluid. New master cylinder went in. They went to bleed the brakes out. The old rusty, corroded brake lines in the back blew out. So my mom actually bought a real nice kit of pre-bent lines all for the pickup. I put one of them on to drive the truck up to my house because it's just easier to work on it in the garage. So I already did that. One line's already on it, so now I just got to put the other 3 lines on there and then start bleeding out the system so the brakes will be all set and ready to go. You kind of see what I'm talking about now when I say rusted or corroded, because they're pretty nasty. But I did spray a lot of this beforehand. I think that's really going to help me with getting all these fittings off, because sometimes these brake lines can be a real pain. Ah. Honestly, after looking at some of these other brake lines in here, they look relatively new and don't look that bad, and they've been changed out anyways, so those factory little pre-bent ones that she got aren't necessarily gonna fit. We could always change them out later, but for right now, these look fine. Just keep these as spares, and if something goes awry, we can take care of it when it comes to it. Fuel tank setup's just a little piece of rubber hose. I think the hose is just a little too big, so we're gonna go ahead and try to fix that because it is dripping.
I got the way with me.
What, Sam?
That's why Pinky wasn't running.
Why?
Because gas was coming out of her. So that's why she wasn't running.
No.
She was running out of gas with her car, with her wheels, right?
Okay, while I'm under here, I'm just going to go ahead and start draining the oil, because we are going to give it a little bit of a tune-up since we don't know the last time it's probably been done. Might have been a summer or two ago, but probably needs it anyway, so we're going to go ahead and drain that oil out of it. I'll hit some of these grease zerks while I'm down under here, and then when it goes back down on the ground, we'll fill her all back up. Okay, truck's wandering a little bit down the road. Kind of handful to drive, and when we picked it up from our relative there, he mentioned he had some kingpins for it and that these ones were a little sloppy, and the other side's even worse. So since we have the kit and it came with the sale, which is awesome, I'm gonna yank these apart, bust out those old kingpins, throw the new ones in, and hopefully tighten this up a little bit so, you know, she runs down the road a little bit smooth. Oh my Lanta. Well, that's nice looking. Yeah, he had said he did some work to this thing, but heck yeah, it's got new rubber lines up here, new pads, wheel cylinders, everything looks great. So I'm just gonna try to loosen up this whole brake setup, and hopefully I can just pull it right off of that spindle to get it out of the way so I can do the kingpins and not have to take any of this apart. All right, and just like that, with a bunch of foul language and back and forth. Old bushings are out of the spindles, new bushings are in there. Do the same thing on the other side, get that one out and get those ones pressed in. Then we'll have to take these into a machine shop so they can hone the bearings out. I don't have the tools for it, so they'll hone them out to the kingpins, get them to the right tolerances, then we'll put them back on. Remember when I said, easy peasy, do that on the other side. No. The second side was not easy peasy. Okay, we got a little bit of time while we're waiting for the machine shop to finish up with our kingpin bushings on the spindles. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish up some of the other little maintenance stuff that we got hanging out. Plug wires, been laying on the headers, got a little melted. She bought new plug wires. We've got little heat boots so that doesn't happen again. And then I can start putting some of the fluids back in there. Once the kingpins show up, probably this afternoon, we'll put those back together, slam the front end together, and then we can bleed brakes. So figure rather than just twiddling our thumbs, we'll get a little work done in the process of waiting. Yeah. I was hoping the new one would be a little longer, honestly. I don't know, there it is. All right, now that we got our kingpins and spindles back from the machine shop, we can start going back together with this front axle, get everything lubed up, reassembled, and then we're good to go. Hopefully that'll tighten up all our steering wander. All right, same thing to the other side, repeat the whole process. Put her all back together, hook the steering back up, and we're all set. So after seeing these wheels without the center caps on, we were kind of doing some talking and kind of dig it. So I think we're just gonna leave the center caps off. The white kind of goes with the front grille and bumper. So might change it up, see if we like it. All right, now that I got the truck back to my level, I'm gonna do last little couple tune-up things. I do have a new fuel filter. This one looks pretty ratty. I'm gonna throw a new fuel filter on it and then fire it up and start checking our radiator for where our leaks are at. I'm gonna put a burp funnel on that because it's pretty low on water. And yeah, just try to check up all the tune-up stuff. I know the idle seems a little high before it's in gear, but with the cam, we might have to kind of, you know, find the balance in there. You know, where do we want our idle at compared to what can our idle handle under a load when it's in drive? Because pretty sure it's just got a stock converter. Nothing softened up for the cam. So anyways, we're gonna check all that. Radiator's got probably 2 to 3 leaks in it. I think I'm gonna call it a night because the radiator's hot now anyways. And then tomorrow, it looks like they maybe smeared some JB on there in the past. I'm just gonna wire that back down, smear some fresh stuff on there. That'll hold us for now because we got about a day till the car show. So I'm not gonna risk doing anything crazy. So that'll get us by, patch it. All right, new day. Now that we let it cool down, do a little sitting so we could work on the radiator. It's very evident that it just leaks, not even under pressure, which I thought it was maybe just once it warmed up and got a little pressure. But judging by all the water and coolant on the floor, I'd say that's not the case. So let's get this top hose off. Looks like most of the leaks are coming from 2 different areas on the top. We'll get that buff down, get some new quick fix on there, and run it that way. Let me tell you, some people are probably gonna have their quarrels about me doing this. But we're on time crunches. And this stuff, I've used it like out in pinches and off-roading and whatnot, and it is thebomb.com, let me tell you. I don't know how many of you watching have ever had a perm, but this stuff kind of reminds me of that, the way it smells. But look at that. Good as new, you can't even tell. anything to make this truck any more awesome than it already is. This thing is full of character and just cool. All we need to do is just bring it back up to road standards. Just tighten up a few sloppy things, do a little maintenance, and then the brakes, of course, were shot, so those needed a little bit of work. Now it's back up, she can drive it, and then we can continue to put our own little spice and flair on it just to kind of make it hers. Like I said, truck's been in the family for a long time, and now it's just been passed on to the next person and keeping it in the family, which is awesome. And I know my mom loves the truck just the way it is and loves that sweaty, rusty, awesome look, and it's loud. That's the best part. So we're gonna keep working on her. We'll keep putting our own little flair on it, and I think you're gonna see this truck around a whole lot more in the future. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, guys. Make sure to go on Instagram, follow us on there. Just keep in touch with us and see all the projects we got coming, because we got some fun ones coming your way.